Welcome back. You know, if we're going to look at that song, it says, let's defend what we have. And there are a lot of people who have said this. Nigeria is a country that is richly blessed with both human and natural resources. Now, we're looking at the area of sport.
How much was defended last year?
Well,
we'll find out.
Here and there. Well, a lot of people were so interested in what was happening in the glass house that they paid little or no attention to what was happening in the, should I say, in
the field?
Block houses or wooden houses. That's the other sports in the country. We have other games, athletics, we had boxing, we had swimming, and all other sports. Taekwondo was making waves across the globe, and especially in the African country, basketball and all of that. But attention was more focused on football and the fact that Nigeria did not qualify for this African Cup of Nations that's going on in Equatorial Guinea from this month. But here today on the show, we want to look at sports generally. How did we fare? Could we have done better? What did we miss out moving along? And I have all of them sports. Well, you find out they're all sports people. Adekunle Salami is a deputy sports editor, New Telegraph. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Good morning.
Mr. Biola Kazim is a sports analyst. Good morning. Good to be here. And Bukola Olokbade is a sports administrator, former commissioner for sports, Ogun State.
Morning. Happy New Year, viewers.
All right, gentlemen. I was actually hoping the producers would bring us a lady here. Fortunately, they left you alone. Okay, let's start off with a general overview of the sports scene. Let me begin with you, the deputy sports editor. What would you say has been the sports scene? What sports scene has been like in 2014?
Wow, how do I summarize? Unfortunately, I like the intro, as in football is over-pampered in Nigeria. Over-pampered in quote. I agree, it's the sport everybody loves. It's #1 sport in Nigeria. But if we have football doing well, yes, we'll continue to support football. But if football is not doing too well, then we deploy to other sports. Whichever way it goes, the happiness in football should not affect other sports. We have failed to do the right thing in other sports. The money being expended of football, the match bonuses, tickets paid to the players, invitation of pros, how they manage this, manage that, is affecting the other sports that can give us leverage also in global sports. It's so bad. And so in 2014, at the Commonwealth Games, for example, the athletes were there, coats of many colors, no green, white, green jerseys for them. Their outfit got to the competition 3-4 days into the competition. That won't happen in football, for example. And this is what we're talking about. So little or no attention is being paid to other sports. It's so sad. Very, very sad. For example, if the athletes in taekwondo, wrestling, boxing, if they want to go for a trial or a competition for exposure, for example, the Ministry of Sports will perhaps they will not allow them. Football will apply for a friendly match. If NFF is not having money, government will pay and will fund the friendly match. And if you ask for how much the friendly match costs Nigeria, by the time you heard the amount, it will be something in which just 10% of it will have been enough for you to take athletes in other sports to expose them. So that affected us a great deal this year. Unfortunately, again, the year under review, football failed in the real aspect it was needed most. Needed most as in...
Okay, Mr. Olokbade, you're an administrator, sports administrator. Where did we miss that link? You know, just gravitating more towards football than, you know, all the sports together.
Basically, we revisit this issue every year, every month, every minute. And I feel we're overflogging the issue as far as I'm concerned. My international law lecturer once told me that in international law, equity can never prevail, because if America is not allowed to stand taller than every nation, then there will be chaos in the Committee of Nations. And I think football also stands above all other sports globally. That's not an excuse for not funding other sports. I don't just feel we should continue to dwell on that issue, whether we like it or not.
Even if football is dwarfing every other sport.
It has to. Even my one there, would attend more international football competitions than my wheelchair basketball competition. For example, I've not seen any journalist come with me to international competition in wheelchair basketball, obviously because it's not lucrative. So we try our best to galvanize. I mean, they support us in the reportage of wheelchair basketball. But I'm saying in terms of, do you know how many journalists travel out to go and see football, even the friendlies? So I don't feel we should belabor that issue too much. It is a reality that has come to stay globally. However, going forward, it is high time we started deploying more funds or more resources, human resources, financial resources, spiritual resources to other sports. We should pray for other sports to win laurels. Thanks for clarifying. Have you seen what people are praying when playing football? Yeah. The frenzy in our churches, in our mosques. Oh, Father, Lord, let this pride this way today. And I'll be like, what's going on in church? And for me, going forward, we need to start looking after the minor sports and ensure that, because sports is not only for entertainment, it's not only for winning laurels, it is a strong, veritable tool of empowerment. As a commissioner in Ogun State, my emphasis, and God bless Otumagbe for supporting everything I did, my emphasis was basically on lesser sports. And that was why we were able to, galvanize and drive sports in totality, while still paying attention to Gateway Football Club.
All right, so, Kasim, what would you say were the high points of the sports scene in Nigeria in 2014?
Well, obviously, the performances of the mainly ladies, I should say. We found pretty much some redemption in what the ladies did last year. At the Commonwealth Games, for instance. At the Commonwealth Games, for instance, we won 11 gold medals. I think all of them were won by ladies. The Falcons went to Namibia. They won the African Championship 7 times in 9 times now, I think. The Falcons as well in Canada were this close, to winning the trophy for the first time. So in pretty much all the women, all the things that the women touched, we struggled. But unfortunately, unfortunately, the king. I'd say what defines Nigerian sport really. There's Nigerian sports really, but what defines it? What champions it, so to speak, always will be the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And unfortunately, they didn't deliver in terms of the I'd say the most basic of tasks set before them. Were in a very, very weak group with South Africa, with Guinea and Congo and Sudan. Unfortunately, they did not qualify. So I mean, the high points obviously our performance at the Commonwealth Games: 11 gold medals, 11 silver, I think 14 bronze. It was the performance of the Falconets as well, and also the Falcons and the emergence of people like Asisat, Shoala. Those are the real high points. But across board, I thought that 2014 was a hugely promising year, but ultimately ended up being
also saw the female football league picked up tempo as well in the country.
Well, but it has got to do a lot better because obviously the league is the talent pool, so to speak, is the conduit pipe through which talent flows into the different national teams. It's got to come on stream. We can see that the professional league is getting stronger and getting better. The Premier League, that is. But the women folk, we pretty much like how we haven't paid a lot of attention to all of the other sports as well. I do feel that in terms of what the ladies are delivering and in terms of what we are putting it's not proportionate.
Okay, Salami.
I actually want to mention 2 individuals in 2014 that have done so well for themselves in Nigeria. One is Blessing Okagbari, coming out from Commonwealth Games, 2 gold medals, went to African Championship again.
Marrakech.
Repeated the same feat. Fantastic. There is a young man in table tennis now, Aruna Kodri. He was, as at February, 237th rated player in the world, and by October, 30. So if you look at the rise, it's unprecedented, and that kind of person should be supported. I have spoken on this. I don't know what is happening. I agree with Mr. Olopade that football is king. I agree, but